we're definitely going to get attacked tonight. I'm in a tiny village in Sarawak, Afghanistan, 2005. It's 112 degrees outside. You can feel the beads of sweat running down your neck like a leaky faucet. We're here to establish a strategic alliance with this village. But first, we're going to have to survive the night. You see, there are 13 of us in this dilapidated building. Taliban fighters lurking in every direction, just like we planned it. We're surrounded on purpose. I'm sure many of you have heard of the Navy SEALs, those amazing elite commandos who took out the world's most wanted terrorist, Osama bin Laden. But how much do you know about another secret organization, U.S. Army Special Forces, the Green Berets? The only knowledge most people have about the Green Berets is a John Wayne movie by the same title, The Ballad of the Green Berets, and dare I say, Rambo. None of these are accurate. I know because when I was 14 years old, I decided to become one. I lived in a little logging town in Arkansas, Mount Ida. And one day, a Green Beret swaggered into our soda shop right out of a recruiting poster. Uniform pressed to perfection. It was like cardboard. And these big old shiny boots. I'll tell you, I was a runt of a kid, even bullied at times. And this guy was everything I wanted to be. And I committed right there to becoming a Green Beret. And you know what? I did it. I spent the next, when I finally made it in, 18 years of my life in the Green Berets. But as cool as that guy looked, it was actually the mission of Special Forces that drew me in. Unconventional warfare. Immersing into a trust-depleted, conflict-riddled environment and working by, with, and through the indigenous people there over the long haul to help them stand up on their own. Our motto says it all: De oppresso liber, free the oppressed. You know, ever since World War II, complex threats have often required unconventional solutions, local human connections, brokered by these specially trained advisors who can go into these rough areas and inspire the people who live there to fight back from the inside out. Now, this kind of work is not for everybody. It takes the right kind of person. A Green Beret is like a combination of Jason Bourne, Jake Sully from Avatar, and the Verizon guy. Or the Sprint guy. In other words, relationship-based connectors who just happen to be lethal when it's needed and only when it's needed. Now, getting into Special Forces is extremely tough. If this 500-person venue were the entire U.S. military population, 2 of you would be Green Berets. It's a grueling process that requires you to jump out of a perfectly good airplane, conduct endurance events like carrying a 50-pound pack for 30 miles at a time in bitter cold or oppressive heat, and these seemingly unwinnable combat scenarios until you figure out that the only way through them is complete reliance on your teammate. This process weeds out all but the most committed candidates. And that's just to get selected to start the training. Each candidate then goes through a year of intensive specialty training. The officers start out with strategic planning, while the sergeants are spread across 5 disciplines. The weapons sergeants learn every weapon in the world. Our engineer sergeants, they learn how to build a bridge and then blow it up. Our medics, these guys can do a battlefield tracheotomy like they did on my friend Romy, and they can pull teeth in their spare time. And our communication sergeants, they can write complex computer code, or they can send a secret message around the world using Morse code. All of the candidates then have to go through guerrilla warfare training, advanced combatives training, foreign language training, and cultural awareness before they can earn that Green Beret. There are 2 officers and 10 sergeants on the basic element that we call an A team. But don't let the size of this little detachment fool you. One of you guys could have told me this, did this. It's like, oh, thank God he got it. But don't let the size of this little detachment fool you. Back in the village where I am, that A team, they are conducting big things. With bushy beards and indigenous clothing, these guys cannot be recognized from the other villagers. Captain Sean, he's over here in the village right now meeting with 2 tribal elders whose defense of the village tonight will be critical. And Gary, the engineer, he's over here inspecting a well that he helped the villagers build last week. And in the clinic, Billy, the senior medic, he's examining 2 little boys right now whose mom and dad just brought them in for acute stomach pain. And Tracy, the senior communication sergeant, he's on his radio like a LaGuardia air traffic controller, calmly managing all of the frantic messages that are coming in and out about tonight's impending attack. It's just another day in the life of a Green Beret. But there is nothing casual about what goes on here. Each decision can mean life and death. Every move this team makes is purposeful, like a well-conducted symphony, especially tonight. The attack comes, those tracer bullets light up the night sky like lasers. These rough men leap out of their cots, grab their rifles, don their heavy kit, and they are up on that roof, standing shoulder to shoulder with reluctant villagers. There is no black, brown, or white that climbs this ladder. Only green. And somehow they find a way to hang on through the night. And in the morning, when that rooster crows, these guys roll out of their cots, and it's business as usual. They're back in town engaging locals, inspecting crops, and continuing to train these villagers to fight back. Even though their numbers are even smaller now because of the injuries and the casualties they took last night. You know, people ask me, Scott, why do you guys do this? Why do you do this kind of work? Why do you keep going back to these places when the rest of the world just keeps on spinning? I have buddies that are on their 9th and 10th combat deployment as Green Berets. I don't know. I think it has something to do with impact. Because it would be blissfully easier if we could just focus on the enemy. But when you put everything you have into restoring trust and honor and shared struggle in the day-to-day with people who the rest of the world has forgotten, that little tactical team of 12, it literally transforms with that village into a tribal force of 1,200. Impact. When we give every tool we have, everything we have, to these villages so that they don't just survive, they thrive. If I've learned anything in this 15-year war, a war that has taken 23 of my friends from me doing this kind of work, a war that my son Cody will fight as an Army officer instead of me now, it's this. Despite all the technology that we have and all the military might that we have, a resilient community is the ultimate antibody to violent extremism. A resilient community is the ultimate antibody to a lot of problems right here. So consider this. The next time life throws you a curveball, I mean a really wicked human problem in your family, your office, your community, while everybody else is staring at it, arguing over it, or worse, running away from it, do something unconventional, something that people around the world and right in your own neighborhood will respect you for. Take a page from the Green Berets, step into that problem, and get surrounded on purpose. Thank you.